Welcome everyone, Marcelo is my name. I'm the niche fragrance collector. I love all things niche perfumery. One question that I get asked is to do a lineup of fragrances that I don't enjoy. If I say that I love everything, well then everything is good, but that's not necessarily true. If I'm not talking about it, it's because I either not enjoying it or I haven't quite converted over to it. There are a number of fragrances that early on I haven't enjoyed, and yet given myself some time, all of a sudden as I experience them, I'm like, whoa, I love this. And point in question, this one here. This fragrance is called Jezebel. The brand is Anka Kus. The perfumer for this house, his name is Oillataguerre. Now, to put things into context and perspective, a lot of people are familiar with a brand called Fort and Manolé, an Aussie brand. So the Manolé part is Ali. There was something interesting that occurred there, and interesting in a sort of dramatic kind of way. Ali then, I guess, reimagined himself and then established the brand Anka Kus. His background is Turkish, so he's, I think, Turkish born, but living here in Melbourne, Australia. And Anka Kus means phoenix, or the bird rising from the ashes, essentially. I came across Ali's fragrances a little while back. I've mentioned before that I do love the Rose Bandit. If you like rose in your perfume, this is super unique, amazing perfume. When I first experienced Jezebel, I didn't like it. For me, there was something, and actually I'm gonna go into it because it's the very things that I found like, whoa, what is going on, which are now the glory moments in this particular fragrance. But now, what you're getting is a very rich, overripe fruit note coming through. He uses pear and chocolate in that opening. I don't get the chocolate, not on the opening. I get this overripe pear. There's a slight animalic component to it, almost oud-like. I don't believe there's any oud in the actual fragrance, but there is a definite overripe fruit mixed in with some animalic, woody kind of tones to it. The part that is amazing is that it's equal part attraction and repulsion, in that there's something in there that you're like, whoa, you're sort of drawn into it. It's kind of sultry and sexy, but at the same time it's like, ooh, it's kind of sassy and unusual and interesting. I'm not a fan of overripe fruit, so I don't like eating overripe bananas or anything that has, because I find that there's too much, it's overpowered in the flavor. It's just like, it becomes too heady. It's overbearing, it's overpowering. On opening, you're getting chocolate and pear. In the heart is a Damascus rose with vanilla, Moroccan jasmine, cashmere and musk. Then in the base, sandalwood, osmanthus, Madagascar vanilla, amber and tonka bean. With those notes, you think to yourself, it's a gourmand. Pear, chocolate, vanillas. It's not a gourmand fragrance. To my opinion, this is not, it has gourmand notes, but there's no, it doesn't have that over-sweetness, those vanilla tones to it. The fragrance continues to stay with that pear or that fruit note continues to stay all the way through. When it dries down, it becomes ambery. There are wood-like components to it, but it still retains this kind of animalic note that sort of lingers in there. I know that when I had an opportunity to meet with Meo Fushuni, he talked about the osmanthus note being a chameleon. And he mentioned that it plays in 3 different parts. It has an apricot-like quality. It does have a greasiness to it also, but there's also an animalic component to it too. And I think in here, I think that osmanthus is doing 2 parts. One, there is that, I feel that there is a stone fruit apricotness to it. There's a fruity, welcoming component to it. But I also feel that it has this other sort of more, sort of not sassy, but a much more, a deeper tone to it, a much more, not sinister either. I guess I'm thinking about the namesake. So with Ali, everything has a meaning. And in this case here, the fact that he called it Jezebel, I mean, who was Jezebel? I mean, if you look at, there are some names within the Bible that you instantly go, you know, I guess good guy, bad guy. If I say to you, Mary, you think, oh yeah, virgin, mother of Christ. If I say Jezebel or Delilah, Delilah was the temptress, But Jezebel, we think that she was a prostitute, but she was not a prostitute. Jezebel was connected to the god Baal. She was actually the princess of the Phoenicians, and as the princess, she was also the priestess of the Baal religion. Now, what did the Baal religion practice? They were very much into fertility. So Baal was a bit of a party god, and they were very much into, I guess, fertility ceremonies. They would create an area called a grove, and in those groves, they were getting it on. Now, Jezebel married the king of Israel, Ahab. Ahab, I think he was, look, I'm going to put it out there, he was drawn by the funness of the Phoenician god versus his Israel god, who was very strict, you know, all these rules that you had to follow. And so he was drawn to this. Now, it's interesting that Jezebel was really, she acted like the king of Israel. She was a super complex woman. She was strong and powerful. She was Machiavellian. She knew how to maneuver around the court. She knew how to manipulate the people. She actually drew a lot of the Israelites to her beliefs. Eventually, she met her demise. But interestingly, on that too, people were coming to kill her. She knew what was about to go down. It actually had been prophesied by the prophet at the time. She painted her face. She tied up her hair and she went to the window, like saying, you know, bring it, sort of thing. If the Phoenicians were writing the history on this, she would be deemed as a strong, powerful, complex woman. And I think that this fragrance is similar in style. To look at it on face value, on that opening note, you would miss the point of this fragrance, which is seductive, ambery, wood qualities to it. This would be an amazing fragrance to go out on a date with. This could also work in the office and you wouldn't feel like you're trying to seduce that office or trying to be overtly sexy in any way. A man can wear this without a problem. A woman could wear this fantastically. Fantastic, that's a real word, by the way. I know that some men are not comfortable with sweeter notes or floral notes, even though it has all those components to it. To me, it doesn't come across as a feminine leaning fragrance at all. I've been wearing this fragrance over winter and it plays beautifully. As a cool weather fragrance, I feel like it has greater longevity on it. I have been wearing it today. Now, I don't know if you can tell, I am sweating. It is a very hot day here in Melbourne. I've been wearing this today and it's not cloying. If you would say that this was a gourmand fragrance, I can't wear gourmands in summer. I find them way too heady, too cloy, whereas I've been wearing this all day today. And it's popping on me. The scent cloud that this is creating is phenomenal. What I'm getting mostly right now is that rose with those woody components and a slight pear vanillic tone to it. So again, it doesn't go into those heavy gourmands or anything of that nature. Even though it's deemed as a floral amber, for me, this is a complex amber fragrance, meaning that it does have the warmth and that vanilla tone to it, but it's not overtly sweet. I find that the sillage on this does fall into a moderate, it does come into a body scent. As I mentioned earlier, for me, it performs better in winter. I feel like the fragrance has a greater presence in winter. In summer, I could be sweating it off. Today, I'm getting about 5 to 6 hours of longevity on it, but I know when I'm wearing it in winter, I'm getting 6 to 7 hours without a problem at all. This is a beautifully, incredibly well-balanced fragrance. The overripe fruit does come down, but that osmanthus, honestly, I think that osmanthus is cutting it right back down. There are those leathery, sort of more animalic tones coming through. Awesome fragrance, super complex, a lot of fun to wear. An awesome brand, Anka Kus. I will be talking more about these guys. The intent will be to meet with Mr. Ali himself and have a chance to understand his fragrances better, and also to get a little bit more uncover about who this man is. Their collection of fragrances is quite unique. He's quite eclectic in what he has. He's driven by the creative process more so than just, you know, what's the fad at the moment, and let's go down that path. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you guys all on the next episode.